I'm meteorologist Jordan West with your 5 p.m. Tropics update. Tropical Depression 10 has just formed off the north and eastern coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. Wind speeds are currently at 30 miles per hour, which is why it's not a tropical storm, which needs 40 mile per hour criteria or more. Pressure is at 1,006 millibars, and right now it is stationary and will continue to be stationary over the next day, day and a half. Now, where will this storm go? Well, here's the cone of uncertainty. Like I said before, it's going to stay in that exact same place for next day, day and a half, and in that spot is where it will start to meet that tropical storm criteria, and more than likely by tomorrow we're going to see Tropical Storm Idalia form in that very spot. And once Idalia makes its way northward by Tuesday around 2 p.m. in the Gulf of Mexico, that's when it could turn into a Category 1 hurricane as it moves over those warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, where it will then make a north and eastern turn due to a cold front coming through and potentially make landfall into the Florida Peninsula between Tuesday night and Wednesday morning over Georgia by 2 p.m. on Wednesday, and then will become a remnant area of low pressure as it makes its way into the Carolinas areas. Now, we're already seeing some watches and warnings in effect. A tropical storm watch is in effect for western portions of Cuba. A tropical storm warning is in effect for the eastern portions of the Yucatan Peninsula. Now, looking at the models so far, they are in pretty much agreement as of right now. So this is Tuesday, 5 a.m. The blue that you see here on the screen is the European model. The green that you see is the GFS model. Like I just said, they're pretty consistent at the moment. Now, watch as they make their way northward. This is 9 p.m. Tuesday. It looks like they're still pretty consistent. Now that this thing is starting to really rotate and strengthen, we could see storm surge effects from this system along the western coast of Florida as early as Tuesday night. As we move into Wednesday morning, we could definitely start seeing some outer rain bands enter the viewing area. So we're already starting to see the effects here in central Georgia from this system as it continues to develop and eventually makes its way into the panhandle of Florida. Once it crosses into Georgia, that's where things start to split. Remember, this is the same storm, two different models. Like I said before, we got a cold front coming in. If a cold front comes in earlier, like it's supposed to, the European model, as you can see, is a little bit farther east, which is good for us. The eastern side of the storm is typically the bad part of the storm, right? The dirty side of the storm, a little bit more severe. The western side of the storm, where we would be if the European model is correct, is typically minimal effects when it comes to these tropical systems. All in all, basically what I just said is if the cold front comes in early, good news for us. If it comes in late, if it decides to lag, if it's stationary at all, that means there's nothing stopping this tropical system from making a northward track, making us right on the eastern edge of the eye of the system, which is where all the typical severe parameters are within these tropical systems. So that cold front means a lot, and right now both models are saying it could go either way, but that means big impacts and big choices for here in central Georgia. Now, as we move into Thursday evening, Friday, Saturday, like I said, that cold front is coming through. We're going to be dry as that cooler air sort of compresses any activity that we could have seen. Now, the next names on our Atlantic hurricane season's name list, Idalia, Jose, Katia, Lee, and Margot are the next names on the list. You can stay up to date on all things tropics at 13wmaz.com. That's good. That was beautiful. Okay. Mallory, if you can hear me, I'll have it done in just a second.